Can this painting, Ophelia by John Mallais, change the way that you think about death? When I saw this painting at the Tate Britian a few months ago, it not only made me cry, but it did change the way that I view death. You can probably relate to this experience if you've ever sat in your car and cried while a sad song played. Art is really good at helping us sort through difficult emotions. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how this painting can help change the way you think about death. It does this through exposure therapy, symbols, and beauty. Disclaimer, I'm not a therapist and this video is made for entertainment purposes. If you have a need for mental health care, please consult a professional. Who am I? Well, my name is Stephanie. I'm a painter and I was an art teacher for over a decade. I have a BFA in painting with a minor in culture and politics, and I love making videos that help people live more creative lives. Art can serve many purposes in our lives. Through art, we can ask life's biggest questions and sort through complicated emotions. Death is one of life's biggest mysteries. It's normal to be afraid of dying. It's normal to be afraid to think about death, whether it's our death or the death of people we love. Why? Because this thought brings on a tsunami of feelings, sad, uncomfortable, difficult, anxious feelings around death. These are feelings we don't want to experience. But over the next 9 minutes, this painting is going to help make those feelings a little bit more manageable. First, this painting can act as exposure therapy. Is it possible that little bits of exposure to difficult thoughts and feelings can be helpful? Exposure therapy is part of cognitive behavioral therapy, and it operates under the belief that it can be healthy to reserve a little bit of time in the right context to sit with difficult emotions and feel them. For someone with a normal degree of fear and anxiety around death, confronting those feelings in small doses can be healthy. I think all forms of art are capable of being exposure therapy. Pixar is really good at this. Remember the opening scene of Up, where the main character gets married and has this beautiful life with his wife and then she passes away? That montage had everyone crying within the first 10 minutes of the movie. But the movie went on. We were forced to move on from this difficult, sad encounter with death. The movie Inside Out was also great exposure therapy around all of those core emotions that can be difficult to feel. And it also helped us face the difficult topic of growing up. There is a name for art that helps us think about death. It's called Memento Mori. This is a Latin term that originated around the 1200s. It means remember you will die, or remember you must die. Memento Mori is also a genre of philosophy, and it's meant to remind us that our lives are brief and we should use them well. John Mallais' Ophelia painting is not categorized as a Memento Mori painting, but I think it is. To me, Memento Mori paintings are exposure therapy for thinking about death. Memento Mori paintings are usually still lives. Picture a big canvas, dramatically lit. There's a table with all sorts of symbols on it. Skulls, melting candles, maybe dead game brought in from a hunt, fruit, and of course the hourglass where time is slipping away. Johnny Cash referenced these types of still life paintings in the music video for Hurt, which he made in 2003, the year he died at age 71. Hurt has been called the saddest music video of all time. I think it's a successful meditation on life and death. This video was directed by Mark Romanek, but the original idea for Cash to give new meaning to the 9 Inch Nails song came from none other than Rick Rubin. If you're a creative and you don't know that name, please look him up. So now that we've talked about exposure therapy and Memento Mori paintings, let's talk about symbols. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. In this painting, the medicine is the difficult topic of death that we all have to swallow, and the sugar is the symbolism as well as the beauty that the artist infuses into the painting. Let's start with the symbols. If death is a kaleidoscope of meaning, these symbols help the viewer look at each different facet of that kaleidoscope. The violets symbolize death of the young. Poppies symbolize sleep and death. Daisies symbolize innocence. The rose near Ophelia's cheek symbolizes youth, beauty, and love. There are nettles in this painting. If you've ever walked through a field of stinging nettles, you understand firsthand why this plant symbolizes pain. Weeping willows symbolize forsaken love. In the play that this Ophelia story comes from, Hamlet by Shakespeare, the main character Hamlet rejects Ophelia. The meadow sweet flowers may symbolize futility or a purposelessness in Ophelia's death. The white crow flowers in the foreground symbolize childishness. The water, to me, symbolizes a casket or a grave. Her pose is like the pose of saints who, in facing death, face God. Her expression is calm and serene. Nature in general is also a symbol. Plants and animals know death is a natural part of the cycle of life. Flowers are here today and gone tomorrow, but they're also in a constant state of regeneration and renewal. When we meditate on nature, we remember that we are part of a cycle that has existed long before us and will exist long after us. This Ophelia painting, which is quite large, envelops us in that world of nature. Symbols aren't the only bit of sugar in this painting. Beauty also helps the medicine go down. Now, the Pre-Raphaelite movement in the 1850s in Europe was all about making their paintings beautiful. It was a group of artists that loved painting old stories, folk tales, the works of Shakespeare, and they idealized everything. In fact, the Ophelia painting is in a gallery in the Tate Britian full of other works by the artist and other pre-Raphaelite pieces. It is absolutely stunning. So how does the artist make this painting beautiful? He romanticizes death by making the painting full of rich, vibrant color, perfect light, a beautiful face, an ornate dress, and flowers everywhere. Mallais also spares no expense with technique. This is a massive painting and every teeny tiny inch of it is full of perfect detail. But this romanticized treatment of death wasn't just Mallais' idea. It was Shakespeare's. The character Ophelia is part of the story of Hamlet, and in the play, her death is described in a very poetic, beautiful way. There's a real contrast between a horrific death and the beautiful words used to describe it. Here's Ophelia's mother, Queen Gertrude, explaining to her son Laertes that his sister has drowned.
There is a willow, grows aslant a brook, that shows his oury leaves in the glassy stream. There, with fantastic garlands did she come, of crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples, that liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There, on the pendant boughs her coronet weeds, clamoring to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook. Her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like, awhile they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes, as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then she is drowned.
Drowned.
Memento Mori paintings have been around for centuries. They are a reminder to us that not only eventually we will all die, but all the complicated feelings that come along with that have been experienced by everyone throughout history. This painting of Ophelia connects us to the millions of people who have seen it over the past 173 years and counting. Most of those viewers allowed themselves a moment to contemplate dying and all of the feelings around it that sometimes seem impossible to confront. If you ever visit this painting in the Tate Britian, or really any art museum at all, remember that art museums can be a sacred space for this kind of contemplation that can't happen anywhere else. Of course, museums are tourist attractions and photo ops, but just remember to allow a bit of meditative energy in the space. No matter where you are at in your acceptance of death, art will always be there for you. Art can help move you along in that coping process. Let art hold space for your pain, sadness, fear, and curiosity. Death isn't a problem to solve. It's a mystery that we all sit with. Ophelia doesn't explain death. It uses symbolism and beauty to confront it. It's healthy for us to allow ourselves a small, safe moment where we confront all of our complicated thoughts and feelings around the mystery of death. I hope this video was helpful to you. Please continue the conversation in the comments. I'm really grateful that you're here, and I'm excited to be building a community here on YouTube where we can live more creative lives, talk about art, and make art together. This community is not just for creatives and artists, but for art appreciators as well. Let's explore art and live a more creative life together. I'll see you in the next video.